Okay.
I'll do whatever you want. I owe you that.
Oh, no. So you don't need to.
I'm gonna make it out.
Okay.
So.
They'll be Googling the story. Okay, let me pray. Father, thank you for a new day, for the opportunity to be together, to fellowship together in this moment. Take a deep breath and thank you for life in you. Thank you for Dr. Jones and how you guided him to be part of our team ministry here. In Christ's name, amen. Okay, Dr. Jones is going to introduce himself. You've got your form there.
Are you filming this?
Yeah. Do we have to give you royalties?
My agent did not know about that. So I have to. Who are you filming this for? Who are you?
There are two people that need to take it as independent study.
Okay.
And they'll watch it. And then absentees can watch it.
There you go. I thought we were like telecommuting in or something like that. I was like, what time is it over there? Nope, not. Wait, this is a big class. What's going on? How's this happening? Apparently, you all know what this like. This is like be ready to like go do ministry, right? Yeah. Okay. Something I've never. I don't know. How you doing? Don't laugh. Yeah. Sarah, you're here too. Music ministry.
We've got a mixture of, I think there's 5, 6, or 7 people that are like dual major or just wanted to be here because they love us so much. We've got all the motivation.
Okay, yeah. There we go. Gary, just keep telling yourself that. Go. So yes, I am Alan. I know a lot of you. Some of you I don't think I've ever had before. So if you're smart, just keep navigating around it, and you'll never have to take that. Zizi knows. Amen. I teach first school ministry. Teach specifically in the field of biblical studies, specifically in Old Testament studies, because I read the half that Jesus read. And you can tell it, Dr. Derrickson, he hates it when you say that. But it's true, Jesus never read the New Testament. Jesus only ever read the Old Testament. When Paul says, all whatever is what? Is God breathed and blah, blah, blah. What's he say? All scripture. Wrong. What he says is the entire Old Testament is inspired and is everything you need for life and godliness. Why? Because the New Testament doesn't exist yet. All Paul has is an Old Testament. That's all he preached out of when he went around and did evangelism. And he felt like, hey, you got yourself an Old Testament, you have everything that you need for life and godliness. It doesn't mean the New Testament is bad. Jesus is important. Be very clear about that. Jesus is an important character. We should know about Jesus. But the Old Testament is the Bible that the church knew before they got a New Testament together. So I'll just tell them why I
got to this point, and
how I got this
how God led you. Yeah.
How I got this point. Lots of bad life choices. Parole board. No, that's not. It's a different story. I grew up in the church, so I have that experience. Some of you may have that experience. There are real blessings to that. Some of you might not have grown up in the church. There is also real blessings to that too. I grew up in a Christian home. I was saved very young. I remember at like 4 years old looking in the mirror being like, I'm not sure the last time took. I should do this one more time just to be saved. So sometime like before 4 years old, I was like, yep, Jesus, that's the guy for me. That's what I want to do. Bless you. After that, it was just working my way through and living around the church and being part of the church and connected to the church for a long time. By the time I got to about this place, college, I said, I have no idea what I want to do, but I have to plop down, $120,000 to do it. So why not? And I decided I'm gonna approach life keeping my options as open as I can. Why shut down things before I know what I actually want? So I just did my gen eds at a local college. I was at 4 different schools in 4 years in my undergrad. I started at Warner Pacific because I could commute there and just get my gen eds done. After that, I knew I had to move on to something a little more clear, and it was either going to be Bible or just go do business and like be a business person. So I picked a school, picked a master's college down in LA because they had a really strong business program and a strong biblical studies program. I thought that'll keep my options open, and I took some more classes. Did that my sophomore year and thought, you know what? I really do like the Bible. I think I want to do this. So I contacted my mentor back at my church in Damascus. Any locals, Gresham people, Damascus? Yeah, you're Gary Brashear's church. Yeah, that's right. I grew up in the Gresham area, born in San Francisco, raised in Gresham. Went to Good Shepherd, which is this giant church out in the middle of farmland. It's a good place. Messaged my mentor and said, I think I want to do ministry. How should I do it? He said, you should quit school, come back to Oregon, and do an internship and actually practice it and see if you actually do like it. You like being around church. You've never been behind the curtain before. Come do ministry and see what happens in the background, the day-to-day stuff, and see if you really do like it. And I said, well, I'm not going to quit school, so I transferred to Multnomah, school number 3, third year, third school. Just went there because it was close to Good Shepherd. Went to Mount Hood Community College, a little bit on the side, because I had to make up credits because I transferred 3 times by that point. So that was my 4th school. I actually finished at Multnomah. It was great, and it was, I love doing ministry. Being around it made me think, man, there's nothing better than spending my days hanging out with a bunch of guys, talking about Jesus, and spending my time reading the Bible. And somebody will pay me to do this someday. I want that. That's what I want. And that was some of the best advice I got was coming up at this phase was try lots of stuff and decide which one do I wake up in the morning saying, I want more of that. I don't care how tired you are by the end of the day. That's fine. You should work hard. But the next morning when you wake up, are you excited about going back to it? Or are you like, oh, just don't make me do that again? If you say that too many times, quit whatever it is you're doing, because 40 years from now, your soul will be gone. Every day you give up a little piece of your soul, and your soul isn't that big, trust me. After like 30 years, you're just out of soul, and you're this soulless person walking around. It's miserable. So yeah, find what just fires you up. And for me, it was Bible and hanging out with guys. And so at that point, I thought, you know what? My professor gets paid to read his Bible and talk to me, and I'm a guy. So apparently he's got the job I want. So I went to him and said, hey, Dr. Lubeck, if you took methods with me, you read his book, because he was my mentor through Multnomah. What do I have to do to be you? He said, just go to school for 10 more years. No problem. I said, okay, I'll take one of those. In fact, give me 2. And so I just kept going to school, because I recognized if you want to do this, you have to go to school for a long time. But guess what? Like, I literally get paid day in and day out. I was late, I apologize, because some of the people from Hebrew last semester said, we really like Hebrew. We just want to sit around and read Hebrew. We don't even get credit for it, but we'll just get up early in the morning and read Hebrew with you, Alan. And I said, yes, I will do that with you. And then we started talking, can anybody tell me what 666 means? This is a question I have. This is why I love what I do. You smile at the back, and I've never had you. What's your name?
Allie.
Allie. What does 666 mean?
I just associated.
I'm going to tell you you're wrong, just so you know.
Right. I just associated with the devil.
Yeah, clearly it's not. There it is. We're reading Chronicles right now. We stumbled across this verse where the narrator is telling the Solomon story. So he did this, and he did this, and he had this, and he had that. Oh, by the way, every year he brought in 666 talents, which is about 75 pounds. Each talent is 75 pounds of gold every year. On top of this came in, and this was a revenue stream, and this was, and this was. And we thought, wait a minute. The narrator knows, like Solomon had this much income throughout the entire year. And for some reason, the narrator saw this one particular revenue stream and highlighted it. All the rest of them just get like a passing reference. But this one revenue stream got 666 talents of gold every year. You're right. We all know this from the New Testament, don't we? And the number shall be 666, the mark of the beast on their forehead. Have you ever wondered why the New Testament thinks 666 is bad? Like, where does it even? Oh, sorry. Why is 666 bad? Why is lucky number 7? Why is it lucky? Why is 13 bad? I have no idea. I'm not a numerologist. But what I discovered, Allie and all the rest of you, back in college, was that the Bible is one of the most fascinating books I've ever encountered. It's just wonderfully hurtful. It's why I find it. Hey, Phoebe. It's why I find it so fascinating. It's why I get excited every day. I get up and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to my office. I'm going to sit around and read my Bible for a while. Then I'm going to go talk to some students about the Bible. And then I'm going to go read some papers and grade papers on the Bible. Then I'll go home and I'll get up the next morning. I'll get to do it again. And I get paid. Like, I don't know how I could get a better life than this. You don't get paid a lot, but I don't care because my soul will be intact by the time I retire. In fact, I probably have more soul each day. Coming back to spend time with you all makes me a little happier. That's a good life to me. So how did I get there? It meant lots of school. Some of you come to my office because you were on like the professorate track. We should talk because it's a narrow slice of the pie and it's a weird road to walk. You're gonna have to go to like 4 different degrees. Sorry, it's just the way it goes. So that you can come and be a youth pastor. Yep. So we are. It's our professors. We're like specialized youth pastors. We hang out with youth day and night. You're smiling about that. You ever think about that?
No, I like that. So.
I get paid to goof off with students. That's like the definition of youth pastor, right? It's a pretty good job. And I get to do it in Hebrew. So that's me. That's what brought me here. Do you want more for that?
Yeah, family.
Family.
How much time do you have?
I don't have class. I thought this was Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Family, tell us family.
Sure. So I have a way better wife than me. Gentlemen, always marry up. Ladies, I apologize. All we can do. I am sorry. My wife is Amanda. Goes by Mandy. She is amazing. I tell students, and I'm also serious about this. I sit around and think about ministry. My wife goes out and does it. Because I really am a theoretician. My schooling, I went from Multnomah to Western Seminary, good school. Went from there to Princeton Seminary, went from there to St. Andrews. I spent 12 years learning how to parse Hebrew verbs. Guess what? How many of you are going to youth ministry? How many of you are going to do pastoral, senior pastor ministry? You're going to do music ministry. What other ministry is there? Sports ministry. Nobody will ever ask you how to parse Hebrew verbs unless they want to get a tattoo. That's why I went to 12 years of school. The only questions that I get about Hebrew are, how do I say this in Hebrew? Because I want to get a tattoo. And I love that question. I love that question. Nobody will ask you about Hebrew verbs, even though you probably will have to come and take Hebrew with me. That's my job, is to sit around and think about stuff. I have enough pastors in my family to recognize the value of pastoral ministry, pastoral theology, practical theology, ethics. These are the things that will be on your plate day in and day out. These are the things that people in your churches are going to be asking you about. So my wife is a counselor. She's trained to work with traumatized and abused kids. She works specifically with foster care kids because they are the fatherless, they're the orphan, and nobody cares about them. Anybody know what Oregon does with their foster kids? We've been around foster care in Oregon. Yes. What do we do with them?
I'm not so sure exactly what we've done, but I work at a camp with foster care.
Okay.
We have some friends of ours out of foster care.
Go ahead.
Okay, kids with foster care kids, has worked at a camp. Another hand back here somewhere? No? Oh, yep.
I had a foster brother that he came with in our family.
Okay. Still with you all?
Huh?
Still with you all?
No, not anymore.
Do you know where he went?
Yeah, he went to another family in our church. He's kind of out of the system.
And he's kind of out of the system now. Generally speaking, Oregon is on a decline in foster homes, so we stick foster kids in hotel rooms. We rent them hotel rooms and we stick them in hotel rooms. And we pay caseworkers to spend a day with them, and then they're off the clock, and a new caseworker comes in and spends the day with them until we can eventually ship them to Idaho. We export orphans out of Oregon because we should have nothing to do with them. That's what we do. We send them to other states. Say, you can take care of them. This is biblical religion. This is the book of James, to care for the orphan and the widow. That's what my wife does. She has a degree from Western Seminary also, trained in theology, but pairs that with counseling theory, counseling skill. So she works with all foster kids. She's worked there for about 10 years. So I tell people, like, I sit around and think about ministry. She goes out and she does it in a amazing kinds of ways. So that's my wife. We have one daughter who is almost 2 years old. She's 2 next month, Mabel. Love her to death, terribly cute. We have the Goonies, the twins, that are baking right now, who will show up in the beginning of May. We don't know their gender, so I called them the Goonies. It's Chunk and Baby Ruth. Because that's gender neutral. I mean, Baby Ruth, Babe Ruth, that's a guy. It could be a boy. Chunk, anybody can be Chunk. Yep, that's right, baby. It's true. They are IVF children. Relatively open about it. Like, I can't have kids on my own. Never naturally have children. They are biologically our children. Science is magic. And I have 2 more kids in a freezer somewhere. Like, I have no idea where my kids are. And like, honestly, they could be in India. They probably are in India. Because let's be honest, it's gonna be really expensive to run a giant freezer in the United States. There's like no law codes outside there. So they probably ship these little embryos off to some other country in the world. I don't know where. They're frozen. And in a couple more years, we'll unfreeze them and we'll have them too. So there you go. That's my family. What's your
Well, do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, y'all have questions?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
How do you be evangelistic as a professor?
How do you be evangelistic as a professor? Secret. Not everybody at Corbin's a Christian. Oh, wait a minute. That probably wasn't a secret, was it? Just let's be honest with ourselves and who we are. Corbin is a